Hey guys, it's Eli from Asteroids, and I'm gonna be going over how to do blood hits. So, just like a basic hit. So as you can see, we've got Morgan right here, getting shot in the chest. So, let's find the point where he starts getting shot, which would be about here. And so I've got this footage from Action Essentials. It's just a blood hit. And then I've got some smoke to kind of replicate a squib. You can also use Corridor Digital's squibs, but I'm just going to use Action Essentials for this hit. So we're just going to drag that on there. And most stock footage has an extra frame at the beginning, so you'll want to take that out, like that. As you can see, it looks awful. Move that back a frame, just position it, and rescale. Need to hold shift. Okay, so you're just going to rescale this as needed. Shit. Used to Photoshop. Okay, so or not Photoshop, whatever program that is, where W is rotate. What would that be? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so it looks okay. Just liquid blood. But, so then we're gonna drag in smoke. I'm just using a core kit from the Action Essentials 2-pack. And it's got an extra frame in there, so we're going to cut that out. So, but let's hide the blood. As you can see, it's gray. We want this to be red. So we're not going to tint it. We might add a tint. We're going to go color correction and hue and saturation, wherever that may be, right there. Alright, we're gonna hide this layer as well, just so we can only see this. Select colorize, change it to a reddish color. That seems just about right. And then you're just gonna go color correction, tint, and gonna keep the black, so that's shadows. We're gonna make this a light red. We're gonna make the black a really dark red. As you can see, it looks a lot better. And now we're gonna unhide these layers, position them just right there. Then we're going to find a point that'd be good to track. Well, actually, this doesn't really look like it needs tracking because of how quick this is. And kind of be moving around. So, as you can see, I cut this one off, but it doesn't really look good because of the transition. Just because I don't want there to be like bricks falling. So what I'm going to do, because this looks pretty awful, is I'm going to add another smoke hit. This time I'm going to be using a blood squib from Corridor Digital. I'll find a link to the video where you can get them in the description. So I've got this front squib. I'm going to bring it into After Effects. Alright, drag this one in here. Okay, we're going to start it right there. Bring it over. And going to make the blending mode screen. And we're just going to rescale it. Alright, now let's test this out. Okay, this needs kind of a time stretch. So we're going to right click this, go into time stretch, because 5 seconds is way too long. It says 50, maybe that one's good. And let's just cut it off here. But as you can see, this is going to look awful, because that's not how stuff works. So we're going to hit T to go into the opacity, transparency, if you don't know that. Just make some keyframes and make it fade out kind of nicely. And as you can see, that's going like light speed, so I'm gonna make it go slower, like that. As you can see, that looks pretty good. With the sound effects and the color grading, it'll look kind of nice. But there's still a couple problems with these. They don't really match the tone of the scene, so we're gonna go into color correction and get a curves effect. You can also use levels, that'll work too. But this room kind of has a blue tint, so we're gonna kind of stretch out the blue and bring down the red a little bit, just so that it matches the scene. We're just gonna copy this, go into our core kit, paste that in, and you know, we'll adjust it for each clip. See, looks a lot better. Yeah, way better. Kind of desaturates it a little bit, which I kind of like. This is a clip from our action short film, Diffuse, which we're still working on. I just had the need to do some visual effects, so I started editing and doing the VFX for the scenes that we have shot already. It also makes my life a little easier in post-production. So now we're just, normally you would track this, but since these clips are so short, you don't really need to. And smoke doesn't really stay put. Like if like I was having it be like right there, like start here, I'd want to track it. But if it's stable for the most part, we're using our Steadicam that we built, it's pretty stable, so we don't really need it. So yeah, just move the stuff around. I kind of like that. That looks pretty good. And now I'm just gonna add an adjustment layer. Sorry that you can't see like any of the stuff. I'm using a monitor, and yeah, I don't want to use my 13-inch monitor to do this as opposed to my 24-inch. So I'm just gonna add some effects to this, magic bullet frames, denoiser, because when I export from Final Cut to do the VFX and color grading, I always export it in the fast way, which is just using QuickTime Movie and not conversion. So it's got the interlaced shit. So just gonna do a little color grading here. Some indoor color grading. Let's bring that up a little bit. A tip on color grading is in production, have as much lighting as you can, because color grading will most of the time darken the scene. I've learned that, because look at how darker this gets. You kind of lose detail a little bit. So just shoot with a lot of lighting. Not so much that everything's blown out, like right here and here, but just enough so it's usable. So I forgot to turn on the blood layer. Let's see. let's hide that. See how this looks with the blood in there. Alright, so it looks pretty good. Add some color grading into this. And we're done. So now I'm just gonna export this, compose, or compositions, make movie. And the next thing that I'll be going over is muzzle flashes. So look forward to that. This is part of my After Effects training series. So, or just visual effects post-production training series. So yeah. Thanks fucking kids. He's like fucking kids. No, 1 second.